Continue after these words from our sponsors. I think we ought to ask Robert, the rock music critic for the LA Times. You've seen both these organizations operate. Let's have a little review of their work.
Well, I haven't seen the Runaways since Cherie left, one of the members of the band. But the important thing, I think, first of all, they're an exception to what we were talking about earlier in terms of bands without skill, without the idea of the kid wanting to get on stage and not being able to play. They're both very tight musically and play surprisingly well, and they're good songwriters. That's, I think, a really important thing in rock and roll. Paul's music, particularly the songwriting, I think, it relies a lot on The Who, which is a band in the 60s, in terms of much of the instrumental feel of the band, but it's a very contemporary statements he's making. But I think the most important thing about both bands is that they're inspirations to other young people to get involved in music. There was a girl named Susie Quattro who used to be a singer, and she still is, but she toured here a couple, 3 years ago. And she was a woman who got on stage and was a real rock and roll player, as opposed to Janis Joplin and other women who were blues singers. And I remember Joan used to go and see her at the Roxy, and you can see she even would dress like Susie a bit. And so that was an inspiration to her. Now the fact that kids can see someone their own age, Joan's age and Paul's age, getting on stage, saying things that are relevant to their lives and making music, gives them an idea that they can do things. Even if it's not making music, it gives them more confidence, I think, about doing other things. And rather than saying, I'll wait till I get out of college, or I'll wait till I get to be 25 until I start making some kind of advancements in life. I think that's the important thing. But what Bill said was that what they're saying is not that much different from what was said in the 60s. It's true, but there's no one else saying it today. The bands like Genesis and Yes and Zeppelin are no longer speaking to that generation. These guys are like excluded from commentary. Now they have people back their age making music, saying things, and so I think it's a very exciting, stimulating thing for music.
If your music takes off, the Jam and the Runaways.
Can I say something first? That
our
music has taken off. You know?
I beg your pardon?
Our music has taken off in Britain.
Now that your music is taking off, the day will come when you become enormously successful in terms of dollars or money. And won't you then become a part of the establishment, as have what we now term conventional rock groups, and then won't there be somebody that'll start coming up on your heels and sniping?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, that is like the idealistic way of looking at things, you know. There's got to be someone else to take your place, otherwise things get stale, which is what's happened in the last 7 years.
Isn't it possible that you, the oppressed now, will be the oppressor someday down the road?
Which is good, that's healthy. That means that, like, in 10 years' time, maybe, or whatever, some 18-year-old kid's going to pick up the guitar and say, like, I don't like the Jam, you know. They're establishment, and he's going to do his own thing. Which is, you know, that is the evolution of music and life.
How do you feel about that?
Say the question again. I was just listening to what he was saying.
We rarely ask the question twice here, but I will make an exception tonight.
Yeah, but I was listening to what he was saying.
I know. That one day, when you become more successful than you are now, I'm trying to phrase this so nobody's feelings get hurt, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to sell a lot of records, you're going to make a lot of money, you're going to become a big star.
Oh.
Won't you then become part of the establishment? And won't there be other groups trying to do things totally discordant with what you have done, and possibly in some way poking fun at you for being establishment and being successful, and that we really are the new wave and you're not anymore?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure that will happen, hopefully. I mean, it's hard to see an all-girl band seriously becoming establishment and
Are you familiar with a group called the Deadly Nightshade?
I'm not. I know who they are.
Windfall Records, they're women, Joan's mother's age.
Yeah, it's more folk flavor, though, than rock. I mean, but they speak of
women's lib, Woodstock vibes, 60s archaic, the wrong type of 60s archaic.
That's what I said, wrong, 60s, not even to be discussed. Why bring it up?
Some 60s is good.
Yes. Were you in the middle of a thought?
No, it was just, you know, just the whole bit about becoming establishment, household word, the whole bit, you know, the way some of the other Mick Jaggers, the Beatles, the whole bit. It's hard for me to think. Maybe it will happen, I don't know, but it's hard for me to think of us becoming a household word just because we're so different, we're so new. We might open up a lot of doors for other people to do things. I hope so.
But so are so many others, and that's when the real challenge comes up. The young artist can say, we are the new wave, and we are not going to have the pitfalls that most of the others had. I can count on less than one hand the artists that have become very successful and have not been caught in the swirl of what success does to you. You haven't been faced with that challenge, which I think is the biggest challenge of all. What will you do if you become a household word?
Well, the thing
Well-
You're going to live differently. You have a nicer car, you'll have a nicer home, you'll have better clothes, and you will become the establishment because I doubt very much if you will be able to catch yourself because the temptation is too big. Name someone for me who is very, very big, who lives a simple life.
John Lennon, Pete Townsend, Bob Dylan, David Bowie.
Simple life?
I think so.
Don't look at the hotel bill.
Well, I mean,
Jerry Brown,
we-
governor of
we got
California, lives a very simple life.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no
no,
hit
no,
record.
no, no, no. Not that simple. Not that simple.
Simple.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's very easy if you're the governor of a state or a very successful star to say, I will live a simple life. Because you know that for all the simplicities, should you really need something and want it that badly, it is available to you. Exactly. So you can say, well, I'll live the simple life, but boy, if I want to fly first class on my own plane, I can do it.
Can I quote a 60s poet, Bob Dylan? He who is first will later be last. The times they are changing, which might apply to this too. Who will be next in 1987 on your show? Talking about those guys and girls in the 70s, you know. A 9-year-old is staying up right now being inspired or something, maybe.
Possible.
Maybe?
Very possible. I'm out of time already, but thank you all for being here
Thank
tonight.
you.
And by the way, you said he did a thing in San Francisco last night that people got up and danced to.
Yes, excellent. Excellent music.
Are you playing here in Los Angeles?
we did the other night at the Whiskey. We've finished the gigs.
How did it go there?
Very good.
And Joan will be in England in a week, playing the Hammersmith Odeon, which is selling out with the Runaways.
Yeah.
Have a good time there. Have you been to
Oh, yeah,
England
we
before?
sure
Oh, yes, you were there 3 years.
26
Yeah,
cities.
we were there about about a year and a month ago.
Okay.
First time we were
Thanks
there.
for being here tonight, Joan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Tom.
Kim. A pleasure to see you. Please take the flowers with our compliments.
Great.
Robert, thank you for being here. And Bob, thank you for coming, or Bill, on very short notice. We will continue after these words from our affiliated stations. You know, why call for quiet? It's so quiet in here now you can hear the ratings dropping. I know. Well, yeah, yuck it up back there. This is all we got. Now here's Doc and the band. Tomorrow night we have Jolly Charlie Grimm here. That's what we used to call him back in Milwaukee. He was a stiff as a manager for the Milwaukee Braves, but I hear he's an awfully fine guy, and he'll bring his banjo with him, and chances are we're going to need it. And then I'll be ordained a minister in the Universal Life Church, and we can all get the hell out of here. Thank you for watching. Sweet dream. All those teams that can win the series in 4, raise your hands. Not you, Dodgers. Good night, everybody.